Welcome to Sag Soul Sisters with Allie and Mags, where science meets the soul. We're two moms and wellness professionals on a mission to help you find clarity and confidence in your health journey. Every episode brings you science-backed tools for nutrition, fitness, and stress recovery, plus a dose of cosmic energy to help you align, grow, and feel unstoppable. Let's do it.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's still morning by you. It's almost noon here. And I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
not that
so
here.
before we begin, can you pull your curtain back just a little bit? I want to see the snow again. So
Check.
it's so fun to see the snow because there's no snow here. It's friggin' 80 degrees outside right now. But that
Yeah.
is magical.
Like my really dirty windows too. That's from a pumpkin that my kids smashed on the window.
I can't even see it. I can't
Oh,
see
you can't?
it, but that's funny.
Cool.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So I am so excited about what our topic is today, which is the microbiome. And I really want to, we'll give some good tips and tricks to keeping a healthy microbiome, but I really want people to you hear microbiome all the time. People talk about how important it is and you need to take care of it and prebiotics and
Mhm.
probiotics, etc. But I don't think people fully understand how not only amazing and influential the microbiome is, but the importance of it for our health and the health of our environment is
I
like,
mean, it's not educated in a way that's beneficial, I don't feel like. I feel like
I
it's
don't think so
overwhelming so
either.
often.
I don't think it's emphasized enough. It's
No. It's we're always talking about like the proteins and the macros, and yes, those things all matter, but
Mhm.
also your gut is literally your powerhouse for it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Arguably
It's your
let
second
me,
brain.
huh?
It's your second brain, for
It
goodness
is. It
sakes.
is. And I actually would argue it's your main brain. Like when they say listen to your gut, and you and I talk about intuition all the time, that is your gut microbiome talking. This is not just woo-woo stuff where it's like, oh, I have this feeling that that person's not a good person, or I have this feeling that I'm not going to do well if I eat this food. No, that is literally your microbiome's experiences and your genetic experiences. They're recognizing little things that are off that your
Yes.
main brain doesn't flag as a big this is
Well,
actually
because
what's
our main
happening.
brain is our safety,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
it goes off of what it's known before.
exactly,
And
right.
our gut is like your little leader if you listen to
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. And okay, so I'm going to go down tangent about that later because I want to talk a little bit about how it does that and why it does that. But I thought it would be fun to get people really into the mind-blowing world of microbiome by giving out some fun facts, mind-blowing fun facts about the microbiome in general. Are you ready? Because when I
Yeah,
was
I kind of want to
researching the
take notes on
microbiome,
this.
so I did a lot of research just to kind of give a little extra oomph to this podcast, and I read a book called the Mind Gut Connection, which was really good. It's a little medical jargony, but it's very interesting in terms of how physicians that are familiar with the effect of the microbiome on our health use it to cure and treat all sorts of mental disorders, mental diseases, body diseases, all sorts of things. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, so it's absolutely fantastic, fascinating.
I was like,
But
that sounds like my jam.
yeah, so let's talk a little bit about some fun facts. Did you know, and you may know, maybe other people don't know, there are more microbes exist in 1 inch of your lower colon than all the people that have ever lived throughout time.
Okay, I literally just learned that yesterday in school, and it was like a mic drop. That is
Yes. Isn't that
what?
insane? So they estimate that since the modern human came about, which was only about 300,000 years ago, and the microbiome has been around, microbes have been around for 3.5 billion years. So they are actually the original architects of our environment. The reason the grass grows that it does, the reason that there's oxygen in the air, the reason that we need oxygen and water and earth and trees and plant matter, it's all because of these microbes. They have been the architect of this world, not us, not any other animals, not the dinosaurs. We can get into religion later, but it is the microbes that have created the environment that we thrive in. So if,
Fascinating.
yeah, so if we're going to be one with the environment and feel comfortable in thriving ourselves, we have to take into account how the microbes intended for us to use it, right?
Hmm.
So they estimate what was a 120 about 117 billion people since the beginning of the modern human, and about several trillion microbes within our gut. Well, and several hundred billion microbes within that 1 inch
Say
section.
within 1 inch of your colon.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yes. So just
So
take that
good.
into account. Far more microbes in our gut than there ever were people on the planet. The earth contains more microbes in the soil, in the water, in people's bodies than there are stars in the visible universe. So every galaxy, you know how we talk about like people try and make all these mind-blowing facts about more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand on all the oceans and all the oceans in all the world. Yes, now take all of that, and there are more microbes on Earth than there are stars in the sky. Not only that, not like a little bit, 1,000,000 to 1. For every star in the sky,
Fun.
there are 1,000,000 microbes.
So
What?
when people say get outside and go ground, you actually have the grounding within you because you
Yes.
are one with nature. Just
Yes.
saying.
Yes. I honestly think, and
Yes,
like,
outside is fantastic, but you are nature within your
yes,
human being.
we are all one. Yes. So, I mean, I just think we put so much weight on our role in the universe and the stars in the sky and the connection. And we're seeing this vast thing out there when the vastness is actually within us in on this
Oof.
planet. It's just massive. Um, so
Well,
the microbes predate us by 99%. So
fun.
of all the time that the Earth has been around, microbes have been around for 99% of it, and we've been around for like 0.1%, something really, really small. So not
Crazy.
even. Yes. So a healthy gut contains actually hundreds to thousands of microbial species. So it's not just like one little microbe, that's a bunch of them in there. Like they're all different kinds of species. So you kind of think of it like the Amazon rainforest, where there's like thousands and thousands of different species. That is like an ecosystem that is like contained within our microbiome. So they're not all the same. They
You're
all do
like
different
actual
things.
body, guys. Do you hear this? This is
Yes.
like you.
You have an ecosystem inside of you. We are basically walking galaxies.
Woo,
Isn't that crazy?
right there.
I know.
So
Um,
when you don't think you're special, look at yourself and lean in because
yes.
you matter.
You contain something incredibly powerful and incredibly vast. Um, yeah. The microbiome influences mood, hormones, metabolism, immunity, inflammation, what we crave and what we eat, like how our brain functions, how our diseases act in our body. Like it influences almost everything. And not just from within us, but from outside of us as well. Microbes in the environment will also influence how we move through the environment, what we see in the environment, how we feel about the environment. That little niggling intuition, like something's not safe around here, I feel uneasy, that is your microbiome talking to you.
And they're like these little finger things.
Yeah. So microbiomes created, like I said, Earth's oxygen. They actually regulate the climate. Not the microbiomes within us. I mean, that's part of it, but mostly the ones in the environment around us. And they sustain from the soil, they sustain planetary ecosystems. So if there weren't microbiome in the soil, those ecosystems would fall apart. Like it is the foundation of most ecosystems. Very cool.
Mhm. Crazy.
And finally, and this is my favorite one, you have more microbial genes within you than you do human genes. So you have about 3 million you have about 20,000 human genes to 3 million microbial genes.
Jeez.
So our body has more microbial genetics than human genetics, which is why I often argue that we are microbe dominant. Like that is who we are as
Mhm.
a, a species, as not even as a species, as a like we're just a container for them. I actually, this is my little theory, is that the microbes have evolved us to be a vessel for them. You know, they're going to get better things of what they want. They're going to be able to eat more things of what they want by controlling what we do throughout life than any other way. Like if they live in the soil, they're not going to be able to have as much control as they can within us. Because, and this is interesting. So it makes up 2 to 3 pounds of our body mass. So if you took out all of the microbes, it will weigh as much as your brain or as much as like a small chihuahua. 2 to 3 pounds of of mass is
Jeez.
our microbiome. And it is the most dense location of any sort of organism on the planet. So you can't find any other place where there is as dense of a population of a living organism than in um, living
Okay.
bodies. Our bodies, mammalian
Jeez.
bodies, yes, living bodies are more microbes or more organisms than it's like taking the entire Amazon rainforest, the thousands of acres or hundreds of thousand acres, millions of acres, I don't know, it's
I
huge,
don't know that
and
as on the
shoving it
I was
into a
like, that is
shot
so
glass.
big.
And shoving it into a shot glass.
Jeez.
It's more dense than that. So, and that is that milliliter thing that you may have heard before. So, like, say a milliliter of compost, it is about 10 billion microbes, and a milliliter, that's compost. So, that's a very dense
Yeah.
population of microbes. Like, just regular topsoil is about 1 billion. A milliliter of a human colon is 100 to 500 billion. So,
God.
way more.
You're like, not doing the math, but I know that that's a big number.
Yeah, it's just absolutely insane. So again, I feel like our microbiome is the single most important thing to regulate to help us thrive
Function.
in life
Yeah.
and function. And I think it's one of the most underrated things in terms of human health and nutrition. It just is like skipped over. It's like exercise, eat well. No, exercise for your microbiome. Eat well for your microbiome.
Yeah.
Stress free yourself for your microbiome. It's all
Yeah.
that.
Well, it's
Make
so
you
often.
make your bacteria happy and you will live a thriving life.
Yes.
Yes.
Because then you can show up in the way you want. Also, it's snowing again. Um,
That's nice.
but with that too, I mean, we like kind of threw it out there, but we hadn't brought it up yet. It's like your microbiomes are like, think of soldiers with a wall. And if
Hmm.
there's any soldiers that are missing in their in the lineage or like their protectors, right? Like if they can walk through, then that's where the leaky gut happens. And you need to be protecting that wall, or otherwise things start to seep through and your wall starts to fall down.
Yeah.
That is
Hmm.
your world.
100%. They okay. We're also now going to get into um
It's
what
so
they
much
actually
focused
do
on this
for
one.
us. So
Yeah.
we know that like it's a symbiotic relationship, right? So it's not just we have these little things in our body, and if we don't make them happy, they're gonna F us up. It's also like they're contributing to our well-being. Like they have a very intimate interest in keeping us alive and happy. It
Yes.
helps them spread, it helps them grow, it helps their population stay safe and strong. Um, Interestingly enough, if we die and pass away, they're still there.
Fascinating.
Yeah, they eat us up and off they go.
It's so crazy to
So,
think of it that way, but it's true.
yeah, it is. And I hate to say like even if we die, they like if we die, they live on. If they die, we die.
Yeah.
So keep your microbes happy.
It's
Um, okay,
like
so I
that
know you
happy.
know a little bit about how microbes influence like the body. Can give me your rundown of what you know about microbes, because I know
I
you're
was
learning
like
about
really
this soon.
enjoying, I am learning about it, but I was like really enjoying how hyped up you were. So
I
I
am
was
so
like
hyped
into
up.
this.
Like this is my
I kind of
favorite.
am like, actually, I might let you just take this one and then I'll like zip it in because this is what I'm learning a lot about in school.
Yeah.
especially with the nutrition of what we're actually having to keep them, like with the sauerkraut or with the, if it's, you do have kombucha, you want to make sure it's not the high sugar and the making sure that these are
Right.
all live and different things with that. But I also feel like it turns into a list, and I don't want this to be a list of what to do. I want it to be an understanding
Right. I
of
want you
what
to
you should do.
100%. I'm so with you because I think when you get in a more conceptual understanding of it, like you start to see the matrix of how important it is. So it's not like do this. We want you to know why and
Yeah.
why it works. So that's my main goal is we'll give you some tips and tricks, but I also want you to know the why behind it so that when you come up to something that you don't know and you're like, oh, should I do this or this? You're like, well, microbiome needs this, so this is going to be a better choice, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
well, and I was even thinking along with all of this, the amount of people, even this week alone, who have come to me and started really digging in and asking questions because I know I'm in functional nutrition. And the amount of times they're like, I'm so tired. This is what I'm eating, but I also like I have no like my hormones are jacked. What new supplements should I be on? And they're asking all these questions of all the next steps to do instead of
Yeah.
realizing like we literally have to start at the bottom of what's in here before I can even start to topple in any of this information. Because if you do not have your microbiomes happy, your supplements aren't going to actually absorb. Like all these different benefits of what you're asking for cannot be absorbed if we're not taking care of that base level. And
Yeah.
so for people to have an understanding of what that base microbiome is, it will make sense then to make other choices.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about like who's really in charge. Like we we like I when I wake up and my day is off to a hectic start, I blame it more on my microbiome than I do necessarily myself. I mean, there
For
is
sure.
like some user error in terms of like making sure that your microbiome is healthy. And if like you F those choices up due to cravings, um, then you can really screw up your microbiome. But microbes influence, like we said earlier, your cravings, your mood, your stress response, your metabolism, and your energy. And just like any organism, they can get confused. So the signals that you put in or that you take in, they can only react to like what we're seeing, what we're experiencing. And so then when we lean into something a little too hard, like a little too much alcohol or not enough sleep or too much stress or too much this or too much that, and you throw off the balance, your gut microbiome balance gets thrown off because it's trying to regulate, right? And so it can go haywire. Um,
For
and
instance, one signal could be is that like at 3 o'clock in the morning, if you're waking up, your magnesium is not relevant. Like your body's like looking for all of this,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
In that is a signal in your microbiome, but we don't necessarily know that. We're just, oh, another supplement instead of like, hey, what foods could you maybe have for dinner the night before that can then
Hmm.
be processing through as you're sleeping?
Right. And your cravings are going to like, especially sugar, like microbiome loves sugar and fiber, and those are your prebiotics. And we'll get back to that. But like those sugar cravings, like just like anything else, your microbiome is going to want too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
And, way back in the day, sugar wasn't easy to come by. And so they were looking for the things like the berries that have the microbial antioxidants in them, the sweet things that were going to give them the prebiotics that they need to eat in order to be healthy, the fibers that they need to eat in order to be healthy. So we've been through evolution influenced to have these instinctual wants for those things. But because they're so vast and readily available now, so now the original blueberry that's going to give you fiber and antioxidants and prebiotics and is probably not washed, so you're going to get more probiotics, more bacteria coming into your gut, healthy bacteria from that one blueberry. Now it's a Oreo cookie. And there's no fiber. There is way too much artificial sugar. There are no antioxidants, and there's definitely no microbes in those clean facilities to give you anything. And so then it takes it, and it's like, that wasn't enough. Now we're starving for this thing. Give me more, give me more. And it sends more of those signals. And all of a sudden you're like, cookies. And it's going, no, I want the real thing. And you're like, no more cookies. And it
Yeah,
goes
because it can't
haywire because it's,
differentiate.
yes. So it's about understanding that the things that you crave, what is your body actually looking for? So when you crave something sweet, it's looking likely for the fiber to fill you up. It's looking for gentle, complex sugars that aren't going to hit your system. It's going to look for the probiotics to replenish what's missing in your gut. It's going to look for hydration that comes from that berry as well. So like those are things that you can satisfy a craving that's telling you cookies with what your body is actually craving. So,
Yes. Mind blown.
mind blown. That communication all goes through your vagus nerve. And so your gut and your brain communicate regularly. Your gut is actually the one that primarily sends signals. So even though it's a two-way street, 80 to 90% of that communication is coming from your gut to your brain. And the brain's like, okay, got it. And that's basically it. It's like, sir, yes, sir. But then the gut's giving all the directions. And it does
Fascinating.
this, it does this through a slew of uh, different hormones that it produces and different vitamins that it actually produces. So your gut actually creates hormones, vitamins. They create bacteria that fights bad bacteria. So bacteria that can make you sick, it'll fight that off. It produces vitamins like K2, biotin, folate, B12 to an extent, even though it's harder to use from your gut, but it still creates those things. And then all sorts of things that, of course, help your gut to maintain that healthy wall that you were talking about with the little
Yes,
soldiers.
without it. Yeah, with the soldiers. Did you know that you cannot, well, it's not recommended. People keep trying to do it, and a lot of supplements do this, is they just try to do D3 and they don't add in that K2. And that K2 is beneficial for it to actually absorb within. I'm sure you know
Hmm.
this, but like
Yes.
there are
Well, and
so
your
many.
gut
So
microbiome will create that for you as well. So
Mhm.
it's something that you can supplement with absolutely, but your gut, a healthy gut microbiome will create that for you. But if you have an unhealthy gut microbiome, it won't, and
Yeah.
then you have trouble absorbing those things. So 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, because so often people are like, I'm supposed to be on a diet D3. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Does it also have a K in there? Because otherwise it can't fully break it down.
Get your K.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make your gut
So
happy,
yeah,
please.
your that a happy gut is going to make a happy brain in that connection, and a happy brain is going to be able to achieve more things in life. They're going to see the opportunities as what they are, opportunities. They're going to be able to ride the waves of stress, ride the challenges a little easier. So by keeping a healthy gut, you're giving yourself a better opportunity to just thrive in life and begin to move forward effectively, which
Yeah,
is important. So,
truly.
okay. So let's talk about like women 35 and up. And this is a point where a lot of women struggle with their microbiome. It can manifest as bloating, constipation, diarrhea, cravings, like we talked about the cookie overload, fatigue. You were talking about poor sleep, anxiety, irritability, mood swings, mental disorders that start to have worsening symptoms, skin issues, allergies, chronic illness, your immune system, like your gut bacteria directly affects your healthy immune system. So you get sick more easily. It can amplify hormone imbalances or the lack of the hormones that your gut produces, one of which is serotonin, can make you feel depressed. So if your gut's not creating that serotonin, like that's gonna cause some issues. It can amplify unhealthy gut can amplify PMS and of course perimenopause symptoms, and PMS can affect how our gut is feeling. So you can solve a lot of these symptoms or treat a lot of these symptoms simply by improving your gut health. Now, is it a cure all for everything? Probably not, but you at least, I tell people all the time, like, get your nutrition and your exercise in place. When you are struggling with something, it's not like healthy exercise and nutrition is going to solve bipolar disorder or solve chronic depression, but it will give you a very healthy baseline to understand what medications might be needed on top of that. So you're not just band-aiding a poor gut with medication. Like, you know, what's the minimum then you need. So your doctor has a good baseline to work from.
Well, and I'd like to add too with that is so
Please.
often one, like how you just brought up the bipolar and people like they just are like, hey, let's go on this medication or like all these swings. Okay, but there's also different ways of how you can assist this, and you can have a lot more fruitful life. But
Hmm.
even like, for instance, well, there's lots of mental health and but so forth, but also with autism, my oldest has autism, and if his food and we are more aware of the choices that we're making and his gut is happier, his whole day is so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I actually put it on my Instagram the other day, but even like for kids, one of the things like irritability and all these things that we're talking about with 35 and
ADHD.
older, ADHD, all these things, it actually helps too whenever they are so dehydrated and nothing is being absorbed within. And it's like kids aren't getting enough to drink when they're at
Yeah.
school or not these different things. So, for instance, when my kids come home, they'll have a glass of water with Ultima in it to get some extra electrolytes or coconut water with fruit in it or something to
Yeah.
get a little extra boost or something because it's not just like 35 and over, even though that's what we like to focus on. Like our littles, this helps regulate their brains too. So they can focus in school and they can do these different
Yeah.
things.
This is not a woman problem. This is a human problem.
Yeah, but it's
Is
so
the
often,
lack of understanding of gut health and how to improve it. Yeah.
yeah, like yes, we're focusing on it because it does really contribute to the hormones and different things that do get missed a lot,
Hmm.
especially as we're talking about these microbiomes and with perimenopause and these different aspects of it. But it literally is your whole family that can benefit
Yeah.
from this knowledge.
Yeah. It's crazy. And
Yeah.
so it's just, yeah, I think that a step one, of course, is improving our gut health, focusing on our health, learning what we need to take care of ourselves, and then taking that valuable information and um,
Incorporating it with the whole
adopting
family.
it for our children as well, and
Yeah.
allowing them, because this will benefit them tenfold. I mean, you will find that the way they grow, the way they learn, the way that their brain develops, the way their body develops is going to be directly affected by their gut. And I agree that I think a lot of things like autism and ADHD are I often think, and this is not an official thing. There's been not any proof for this as far as I know. But it's hard not to believe that not only are those things exacerbated by poor gut health, but I think a lot of them have evolved because of poor gut health, because they're not getting the nutrients that they need, or the microbiome is not as diverse in our world as it used to be, that the pesticides and the sanitization of everything has begun to reduce the types of microbes in our system. And children, like even before they're born, like
Yeah.
have these risks that women, like, we don't really have much control over. They just kind of like come out of nowhere. And it's a pandemic in terms of I think there's a lot that is outside of our control, like the way that our community and our culture and our government, whatever, is affecting the environment, and our food systems is affecting how our microbiome is thriving or not. And it's having these very terrible side effects for individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what we can
What?
do is all what we can, I mean, we can do a lot, and there's all sorts of like legislation and thing that you can lean into. But what we can do for ourselves now is to take care of ourselves, learn as much as we can about that, and then perpetuate that information to our children.
Yeah, because I will tell you, I mean, we're sponges, but our
Mhm.
littles are also
Yeah,
like they get it.
yeah, yeah. So, okay, so for like women 35 and up, one of the big things that our gut helps us with is it metabolizes estrogen. So it will actually remove estrogen from your system. And then the prebiotic Fiber, which is very important for your gut health, actually is also, this is kind of an aside, but also latches on to estrogen and pulls excess estrogen out of our system. And too much estrogen can cause all sorts of issues. That's where we get the mood swings. That's where we get the bloating. That's where we get fat deposits around our hips, where we have trouble losing weight. All sorts of struggles that women that have too high estrogen number struggle with. People that have PCOS and have all sorts of estrogen fluctuations, fiber is one of the best things they can do to start eliminating excess estrogen. So,
And yet it's
um,
not talked about.
yeah, it's not talked
Actually,
about.
lots of people with PCOS, they always say too, well, before, like I remember friends that had it in high school that always struggle with that. And they'd
Mhm.
be like, oh, you got to take fiber out of your diet. And now what I know, I'm like, wait, but that's helpful. They'd be like, no, that's giving you too much gas and that's your bloating. I remember hearing that so much. I was like, that's
No,
not the
yeah,
fact. Like now I'm like,
yeah,
wait, hold. Shut the front
yeah.
door.
Oh my gosh. So, okay. Do I want to address it now or do I, okay, actually, yeah,
Address it
let's
right
move
now.
on
Do it.
because what we're noticing in 35 and up is that stress, perimenopause, all these things can be amplified by our gut, like all the negative reactions can be amplified by a poor gut balance, but also it's like a snowball effect. Like we get more stressed and we have perimenopause from poor gut balance. So our reaction is to be stressed and get poor sleep and overwork and eat bad food, which then makes the gut bacteria even more unhappy. And so it's just this vicious cycle. So we need to break that cycle. And the things that we can begin doing to break the cycle is to eat prebiotics, probiotics, and then we can supplement until our gut bacteria gets healthy again with postbiotics. But once you get healthy gut bacteria, you don't necessarily need postbiotics. So let's talk about what those three things are. So probiotics, the middle one, the actual gut bacteria is
The
your
one that gets
probiotic.
talked about a lot. Yeah.
Yes. So probiotic is the actual gut bacteria, is the actual microbiome that people put in tiny little capsules. They're actually little living organisms. You can get it in yogurt. It'll say active cultures on your yogurt bottle. The things that you can do is find active cultures. I don't trust probiotics that come in like gummy form. I don't trust probiotics that come in like clear bottles. Like probiotics are supposed to be stored in dark, like light-free type glass bottles.
Yeah.
It's a much safer environment for them, and they can actually keep live cultures in those. You can find live cultures where you can actually populate your gut bacteria so you can put more differing strains into your gut bacteria, which will make it healthy. Remember, like the Amazon, you need a diversity in life, and so you want the different strains, which are the different species of, not different species, but different types of probiotics.
I mean, they kind of are species.
Are they different species? I didn't know. It's like different species. Like, no, they're all the same species, right? I don't know. Anyway,
I'll research that
yeah.
shit.
Semantics. Point being is the different strains help you do different things. And so having a well-balanced different level of strains, that's what we talk about the balance being off. There's too much, too little, too much unhealthy bacteria. It's offsetting the good bacteria, those sort of things. We want to have good balance. You want to diversify, which is why you want to eat a lot of different colorful vegetables from different
Rainbow.
sources. And local is best because it will help you tackle the environment that you are in. So those probiotics, those bacteria, have the memory
Yeah.
of that environment and will help you navigate that environment best. If you live on the Amazon rainforest, you want probiotics from the Amazon rainforest. If you live in the Midwest, you want probiotics from the Midwest. If you live in Florida, you want probiotics from Florida. And the best way to do that is to eat local foods or eat
Mhm.
them straight out of your backyard. Now, you want
Something
to
that's
be,
kind of fun is to do like see your CSAs that you have, your
yes,
community shared agriculture. Like there will be some, even with some of this winter stuff, where they still have the greenhouses of what they've been working on through the year, like throughout the
yes.
year. You can still do that if you need to.
100%. And what we mean by that is like when you're getting local plants, on those are going to be local microbes because they come from the soil, right? So that's what we're talking about eating local and getting local probiotics is because it's going to come off the foods that you eat. So you also want to watch the pesticides. You want to make sure it's organic and you do want to do a light wash to get a bunch of the gunk off of it. But in those plants, like deep in the crevices, you will still get billions of a different strange or billions of different microbes and thousands of different types
Yes.
in your local veggies. So that is a great way to expose yourself. You can also get it from things like Allie mentioned earlier, kombucha, which has live active culture in it, and you just want to watch the sugar. Also, like you said, Allie,
I
yogurt,
want those
but
ones on tap.
yes, you want to do yogurt
Or
and
kefir,
or kefir. Yep, and that will give you good sources of probiotics.
sauerkraut.
Kimchi, sauerkraut. You think of other ones? Technically wine.
There are organic wines out there that don't have all the extra
True.
um
Fermented things. Okay, so
culprits.
those are the natural local sources that is going to perfect you to your specific environment that you're in and give you strains from that area. The way that you can artificially supplement is through probiotic supplements, which I do encourage everybody to still take because I think the way that our food culture is they're killing off too much of the microbes. So we kind of need to get it artificially. So you want to find something that has a delayed release or is enteric coated capsules. Because what happens is just like if you take a living organism and you put it into your stomach, that stomach acid is going to kill it. It's going to eat it up and then it's not going to make it to your colon where they live. So you want something that's going to survive your stomach. And that is either like when you buffer with food, like that's why a lot of the microbes that come on food with fiber included, like the veggies, it's buffering the stomach acid. And so more makes it into our colon. So you can eat them with food, or you can get delay release or enteric coated capsules to help buffer that as well. And you want to take a
Oh,
large amount. Like it's not like a billion probiotics. You are looking at 10 to 50 billion CFU. And yes, that means that's how many you are putting into your body
yes.
with multiple different types of strains. And I wouldn't, don't go for like the 15 strains. That's unnecessary. And they only put like then this much of each strain in there. And so it's stupid. You want to try and do like 5 to 8 is usually what I look for. And the big ones that I look for when I look at probiotics and what I've read in the book to look for is things that are lactobacillus. There's a couple strains of lactobacillus in there, a couple strains of Saccharomyces,
Mhm.
SACCHR, and we'll put this all in the comments. And then the last one is Bifidobacterium. And there's a couple strains of that are usually, and those are kind of the five. There's like 2 strains of lactobacillus, 2 strains of Bifidobacterium, and I think they only use those anyway. And then the
Those words are so
Saccharomyces.
hard.
Huh?
So way to not completely butcher the words.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm saying those right, but I'll put those in the comments so
Yes.
you can see. And that's like 5 strains. That's what I take. I take a 20 billion 5 strain um probiotic because I eat a lot of veggies too, and I feel solid. Um, did I miss anything on the probiotics? How to take them, what to take?
No, just make sure though, guys, that if it's not one that either Mags and I have like specifically recommended, just because like with Thorn or through Joy Wellness, I can help get set up with that. If it's not one of those, make sure that it is like with a glass bottle because that truly does matter. So then you're not
Mhm.
having all the plastic leaching into all your gloriousness on the
Yep,
inside.
absolutely. Um, okay, so then prebiotics is basically just fiber. I don't think people necessarily need to take a prebiotic supplement. I see a whole bunch of things advertised with prebiotics, just means it's added fiber to it.
That's
That's
like
it.
what they try adding to like the kid supplements whenever they have like
Yeah.
with the gummies, and I'm like,
They're like,
no.
here you go. It's a multivitamin with prebiotics. And I was like, you mean the sugar that it's wrapped in, like the gummy?
Yes. Yep.
That's
No,
that's
thank
all they're
you.
saying. It's like
No,
it's got
the
fiber and
kids don't
sugar in
take
it.
gummies at our house.
Yeah.
They just say no.
Yeah. So fiber is your prebiotic. So if you eat veggies, you have your prebiotics. If you don't eat veggies, yeah, you're probably going to need to take a fiber supplement to feed your gut bacteria. That is your prebiotic. So fiber, prebiotic, same thing.
Boom. Easy.
You can get those obviously naturally from fruits and vegetables, beans. are an amazing source of fiber. And one of the reasons why beans makes you gassy and fiber makes you gassy, which we were talking about earlier, you were like, oh, it's a PCOS, don't eat all that fiber because it makes you gassy. No, it makes you gassy because your gut bacteria is all effed up and there's not enough of it to eat all the fiber. So your
Yep.
gut bacteria goes like haywire on the fiber and like blah, and starts belching out all of this excess gas. And that's what makes you bloated. If you have a healthy gut bacteria, you will not get bloated because your gut will handle all that. So when you start taking fiber, you want to slowly build it. You don't want to just hammer your body with fiber all at once. You want to like, if you're new to vegetables, start slowly. Like, don't just hammer the vegetables.
No,
Like,
but you know what I made this week that like
yeah,
actually has all this encompassed in it? I was like refusing to go to the grocery store, so whatever. But I had the lettuce, well, all the different greens, right? But I also was like, I don't want like just a salad. So I made taco salads with shrimp. I like sauteed up the shrimp and put the shrimp in there. And then it had black beans and tomatoes and a little bit of corn with Primal Kitchen uh
yeah.
mixed in. And it was like so creamy. It was like a
Oh
taco
my God.
salad. But it was so like I seriously I kept eating it. I was like, ooh, proud of this one,
Have
proud of this
you
one.
tried sprinkling kimchi in that?
Ooh, no, but that sounds so
It's so
good.
good.
That would
Or
be
even
right.
sauerkraut, like that has that nice little like pickly edge to it.
Yes, Costco has like a huge thing of sauerkraut that I have in my fridge right now. But yeah, that'd be so good.
So
Anyway, so
good.
there's that. It takes less than 5 minutes to make it, and you get the protein. You have your shrimps, you have your black beans because you're having all that. You have your tomatoes and your
Yep.
lettuce. Like you hit all of it and it takes less than 5 minutes. Put it in a mason jar, and you have like 3 days worth of meals.
Awesome. Will you write that recipe down and like it sounds super
Yeah.
quick and it
Yeah.
doesn't need like exact measurements. It's just kind of like a
I was like,
salad,
there's
but as
no way
much
I
as you
have a
like in
measurement,
any
but
other. Yeah.
it's me. I don't
Yeah.
actually measure things, but I will put that in
Yes.
salad in a jar.
Perfect. So microbiome controls pretty much everything in our body or influences it in one way or another. So we need to take care of it. It is highly underrated and is so important. If the sheer number of them in our body, and these are living organisms. These are not like vitamins or hormones. These are like straight up living organisms in our body. They are a separate entity from, well, they're not separate from us now, but
Because they're within.
yes, we are hosts to this other living organism that is arguably far more populated than us. Um, and it can cause all sorts of issues if you don't take care of it, that we blame on a zillion other things. But I think if you focus on fixing your microbacteria, um, as your step one in any health effort, you will find you will have way more luck succeeding, whether that's weight loss, whether that's muscle building, whether that's mental health, reducing stress, better sleep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
perfect. Love it. Okay, cool.
Okay, bye,
All
friends.
right. Thanks,
Thank you.
Lady. Thanks for hanging out with us on Sag Soul Sisters. If you loved this episode, share it with a friend and subscribe so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay aligned and unstoppable.